The Too Fast Too Furious Nissan Skyline GTR is finally available in my country. I'm really glad that LEGO continued the licensed car theme into the Speed Champions line because it's a perfect theme for this kind of a treatment. It just heightens my excitement for one of my favorite LEGO themes. The prospect that say 1 to 3 movie cars a year would be releasing under this line, that just sounds incredible. And if LEGO is struggling to come up with some ideas for the vehicles, maybe I can give them some. These are the licensed cars that I really want to see in the Speed Champions line next. If you enjoy the video, liking and subscribing helps support the channel. Well, the first cars here are an absolute no-brainers, James Bond and Fast and Furious. I think that the theme here was that LEGO made sets based on IPs that they have previously worked with before within that Technic range. So we'll stick to that for a second and bring up LEGO Dimensions, which features 2 IPs that I highly desire as an 8 wide stud car, the A-Team and Knight Rider. Kit in the show Knight Rider appears as a Pontiac Trans Am, like the Pontiac Firebird Smoking the Bandit car. To my knowledge, LEGO have not made this car into LEGO, but there are loads of instructions and requests online about how you can make your own. The best way I think possible is to translate Knight Rider. We got a Knight Rider LEGO set within the LEGO Dimensions wave, one of the figure packs that I heavily sought after because I doubted the return of this as a licensed theme. A very popular show from the 80s for those that are unfamiliar, Knight Rider was about Michael Knight, a special agent and crime fighter played by David Hasselhoff, and his artificially intelligent car Kit, Knight Industries 2000. The car is practically indestructible and together they would save the world and stop crimes and such. You probably get the picture. LEGO love adapting older series like this, and I still think that the car itself has that iconicity behind it to warrant its existence, even if that show is not as popular today. The exact same thing can be said for the next theme, the A-Team. The A-Team drive around in a beefed up GMC Vendura, another vehicle that is yet to be adapted into LEGO, but again, plenty of information online to show you how you could make your own, which is a clear indication to me that people want these things. What would make this a really special set is the fact that it's a van over a sports car like the traditional Speed Champions line. I believe that the Endgame Avengers compound set from a few years ago sold pretty well, obviously due to the figures, but it also included a really cool van build, just a regular LEGO van. It's surprising how rare a vehicle like this is when it comes to LEGO, where the van isn't also used as a camper van or an ambulance, a giant creative Volkswagen. People really want minifigure sized default vans. Most famous of them all is probably still the A-Teams, far more well known than Ant-Man's van. The A-Team was another popular show from the 80s, a year after Knight Rider in fact. The A-Team were a group of ex-Special Forces personnel. After they've been branded as war criminals, they go on to work as soldiers of fortune, taking on odd jobs here and there. You fight the crime and you save the day, it's the gold standard of the 80s. The team consisted of Hannibal the leader, who loves it when a plan comes together, Faceman Peck, the suave, smooth-talking con man who can get a hold of just about anything, Howling Mad Murdoch was their potentially insane pilot, and B.A. Baracus was the highly skilled mechanic and the team's master of arms. This is a movie from 2010 by the way, and it's pretty decent. The LEGO Dimensions pack included Bad Attitude Baracus, who is also one of the most useful characters in the game in my opinion by the way. His dynamite ability is very useful. Because Speed Champions doesn't tend to include more than one driver in one of these small sets unfortunately, I'd say a re-release of him is probably the best bet. If LEGO really wanted to beef this vehicle up and raise the price a little bit to the $40–50 NZ range and give those extra members, I would not be complaining about that. Besides, the van probably needs to be bigger anyway so that it can fit the whole team. This entry is definitely more of a dream entry because I don't know if LEGO would ever budge on this one or not, but I really want to see the last of the V8 Interceptors appearing in LEGO. The Pursuit Special from the Mad Max series had stuck with me ever since I watched the movies as a kid. This was my go-to car in GTA Online. The 1976 XB Falcon is so damn cool, but I would prefer the look of the Interceptor vehicle's black design over the MFP Pursuit's police yellow. Also, the Mad Max sequel, The Road Warrior, isn't rated R here in NZ and Australia, the countries that I feel like should have the priority of the US ratings in regards to this, but I know that that wouldn't cut it anyway. Again, no LEGO set has been made of this vehicle, but Google search shows that there are all sorts of great customs out there, and they all tend to be Mad Max inspired. Maybe an entry that they would consider here, and it's a thing that they have already touched. The Mark V from Speed Racer is an icon of itself. Built by Pops, the vehicle appears as the sole vehicle for Speed Racer in the anime of the same name from the 60s. This would be a great get, as LEGO don't actually cover the anime world in LEGO despite fan pressure for years now. Speed Racer probably isn't the first anime that people would want to be brought into LEGO, but it's on my list because the list requires iconic cars. As mentioned before, LEGO did bring the Speed Champion license into their realm with a wild theme theme based on the Wachowskis movie from 2008, the only Wachowskis movie to ever be adapted into LEGO, so I'll take what I can in that department. The Mark V appeared in one set, I believe, and the Mark VI appears in the Grand Prix finale set. It's a similar car, it's Speed Racer's car, but they're technically different vehicles. I wouldn't mind either being adapted into LEGO, but honestly, I would kill for LEGO to finally do an anime adaptation. Until LEGO do it themselves, we all just have our own ideas on what LEGO's anime art style would look like. Would it literally be like every other cartoon set that they've done? Would they try something a little bit different to differentiate it with their colors or their prints maybe? Finally, so that we can round out this list to a nice solid 5, and the only one on this list that I actually do see happening, I've picked the Lotus Esprit as seen in The Spy Who Loved Me. It seems like LEGO would want to just continue either their Fast and Furious line, or more likely their James Bond line. It's unclear actually due to the content that's been contained in these. I just assume that they would want to do more Bond. Hell, the set sold out everywhere when it first released, so why would you not just keep them coming? Spy Who Loved Me is from 1977, this is one of Roger Moore's outings, so why would I want this one over the other Bond cars? This car drives in the ocean. That is cool. I think it's very likely that LEGO would want to make this themselves and give you the option of swapping out the wings or not. I could easily see LEGO wanting to make this car in LEGO. The play feature just writes itself. That is my list of desirable cars to be featured in the Speed Champions line. If there are any vehicles that I have missed, be sure to let me know down below. If you enjoyed this, liking and subscribing helps support the channel. As always, take care.